Money, money, money. Everyone wants to make more money. In today's video, we'll be sharing tips on how to make more money. If you're looking to have more money in your bank account or looking to ask for a raise at your current employer, then this video is for you. We'll share a little bit of what money is and what it isn't, considerations when you ask for more money, plus different ways to make money. If you're new, hi, my name is Lukey, and I create educational videos on jobs, careers, and life. If you're looking for some practical tips and advice and life lessons, subscribe to stay up to date. Now let's get started. Money. It's a medium of exchange in the form of coins and banknotes. At least that's the boring dictionary definition. I like to say that money is the embodiment of perceived value. Perceived, since the actual paper and metal aren't actually worth much on their own. And value is based on how useful it is to you. While there's an absolute value for money, as in what it can be used to buy in a grocery store or on the stock market, it's really what you use it on that determines the value of that money. Let's say you're in the market for a car. Would you go Honda or Acura? For those that know cars, the engineering behind the two, they're basically the same. But the Acura costs much more money, and those cars do tend to have a few more features. To decide, you want to consider why you want the car. Is it just to get you from point A to point B? Well, then the Honda would be better value. But if you want some more luxury and prestige, well, the Acura starts to look more attractive. What about a Tim Hortons or a Dunkin' Donuts coffee versus a Starbucks coffee? What about a Coach bag versus a Louis Vuitton bag? Which of those are better value? Well, it depends on the person buying. So value is subjective. Now let's move that into a career context. What is your salary? Well, it's the perceived value that you provide the company. If you make $80K a year, the company believes that you can make them at least $80K, plus enough to pay for other expenses, including management and whatever profit that they want to make. Now, it's always nice to make more money for the same amount of work. So if you want to make a higher salary and more money, let's say go from $80K for a 5% increase to $84K, you'll want to consider inflation, personal performance, and market value. Let's start with inflation. This video was recorded in 2024, and the current inflation rate is just under 3%, 2.74 to be exact, but let's say 3 just to make the video simpler. That means that if you bought something last year, it's likely going to be 3% more expensive this year, which means that your $80K buys you 3% less than it did last year, and essentially translates to a 3% pay decrease. In that case, you might say to your employer, give me at least a 3% increase so that I can keep my current standard of living, right? Well, your employer might say, not so fast. Would you buy last year's phone model at today's prices? Wait, what does buying a new phone have to do with my salary? Well, one employer perspective is that you're last year's model, or however long you started ago. You'll need to showcase your growth and updates in the time that you've worked. Otherwise, it might be better for your employer to go out to the market and find a newer model. That newer model would have more features and might actually cost them 3% less. Good thing that most employers don't think that way, since they have to think about hiring and onboarding costs. Those costs consist of how much it would cost to go out and find a candidate, screen resumes, interview, select someone, then finally onboard and train them to replace you. That could be thousands of dollars or even multiples of that person's salary, which means that giving you a measly 4K might be better than spending 10K to bring on the next you. Employers typically don't want to go through all that unless they have to. And they only really consider having to if you're underperforming or the market conditions can't support you. So make sure you do your part and meet or exceed expectations. And if you're finding this video useful, remember to share this video with a friend and let me know if you have any questions or what you're struggling with in your job search or career. And feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. An important consideration is, are you providing at least the amount of value of your raise to justify that increase? You might point out that you did such amazing work that you brought in a client that earned the company an extra $50,000 of value. So you should get part of that, right? Well, again, not so fast. It's unlikely that you single-handedly converted that client, as there are expenses that you don't pay for, like contracting, invoicing, and other administrative costs. So you'll want to consider the profit that the company makes versus the revenue. That 50K might have been 40K of expenses and only earned the company about 10K. Okay, well, even with those costs, you can ask for half of that, right? Again, not so fast. Are you just a one-hit wonder, or do you have sustained performance year over year? If they adjust your salary, then they have to pay that amount ongoing. And can you guarantee that you can bring in another 50K client next year? How about the year after? Because if they give you that raise, then that might be the ongoing expectation. Also, if everyone was bringing in 50K clients as it was a really good year, then your performance doesn't look as good. Perhaps even worse, what if everyone was bringing 200K clients? Then your case is looking less interesting. There are lots of different factors to go into performance, so make sure you consider an increase of the value that you produce along with your peers and the company. And at the end of the day, you want to showcase to your employer that you're worth the extra as you've already invested and put in the work into the company. And if you're having trouble quantifying your additional value, then why not join the Focus Inspired Academy, which is your gym for career confidence. Go deeper into these concepts and get group coaching to help. Click on the link in the description box below to get a free 1-month trial for supporting the channel. Another consideration is your value in the market. Often folks ask for money when they hear that their buddy who just moved to another company got an additional 10 to 20% or even higher salary at another company. So of course you say, I want that too. But before you jump ship, another consideration is the concept of goodwill. Goodwill is the rapport and reputation that you've built with your manager, your team, and other folks in and around the company. You might have stayed late some days, even worked weekends. You've done favors for folks. You helped someone multiple times. And you've got to the point where your boss knows that you're a hard worker. So, if in future you want to take a day off for an emergency or another reason, then you're confident that they'll say yes. You've built some goodwill, and you feel you can call in a favor in the future if you need that extra help. Well, what happens when you move into a new company? They don't know you at the company, and you have to start building that rapport and reputation from scratch. You'll have to rebuild that goodwill. And you can estimate your goodwill to be valued at about 10 to 20% of your salary. Though that'd be less if you do the bare minimum and you don't go above and beyond. That means if you get paid 10 to 20% more to move to a competitor, you're basically getting paid the same. Also, if you don't have friends that are willing to share their salaries, you can use sites like Glassdoor, Payscale, or LinkedIn to get a salary range. Though be mindful that those are all anonymously contributed, so they can have a plus or minus 20% variance or more. I mean, someone could easily say that they make 80K when they actually make 77. And most people won't say they make 75 when they actually make 77. So the ranges are often a bit inflated. Again, there might be many considerations for your expected salary. When you have all the data and the rationale for why you're worth being paid more, then go ahead and ask. And we'll save those specific details for another video. But before we get to that future video, I wanted to chat about another way to make money. Most folks rely on their salary as their sole source of income. I was on a panel where an entrepreneur shared a quote that was quite impactful to me. One source of income is too close to zero. In the world of financial planning, one of the key ideas is to diversify, meaning that you should have multiple sources of income. Just having a salary is definitely not diversification. Folks are looking more and more into side hustles and passive income. Now, in actuality, there's no such thing as passive income. Unless you have a trust fund handed to you, you need to put in work. Passive means you didn't do anything. The better term is residual income. You put in the work, and hopefully that money is worth the effort that you put in. For residual income, you're getting the benefit as a side effect of the work that you put in. And even if you want to create your own trust fund, you need to put in the work to get the capital for the fund to pay you that interest. You can also make money by making investments in the stock market and collecting dividends. But be careful if you plan on active trading, as even the best money managers don't often beat the market. So in this case, it's likely better to be passive if you've invested in a low-fee index fund and just set it and forget it. You can also make an investment in real estate, either to buy and flip or rent out for a cash flow. Real estate often takes capital to start, but you'll also need effort to renovate and to flip it as well, or find renters and manage any property management issues. You can find a side hustle to sell products and use something like Shopify to set up an e-commerce store, or use platforms like Amazon for fulfillment, or even do-it-yourself items on Etsy. You can also sell your skills by providing a service, or many folks are taking their shot to become an influencer, get paid for producing content on YouTube or TikTok. You could also buy a business. There are more and more sites popping up like buyandsellabusiness.com, where you can buy all sorts of businesses, from stores, even bubble tea shops, to online e-commerce stores and brands. More folks are turning to side hustles to supplement and diversify their income. Plus, some folks even turn their side hustles into full-time roles. If you want help on how to start a side hustle, take a look at this video. Keep in mind that there's nothing passive as most of those income streams have varying amounts of work. Still, it would be worthwhile to look at those alternatives to make more money. So that's a summary of how you can make more money. Understand a bit of what money is and isn't. Consider inflation, personal performance, and market value when you ask for a higher salary, plus different ways to make more money through investments or a side hustle. Pick what you want and go out there and make some more. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on jobs, careers, and life, and YouTube recommends that you check out these videos next. Until next time, be focused and stay inspired.